A little bit of secondary.
We're back again. Woo! Wi-Fi is
Third time's
back.
a charm.
Wi-Fi decided to troll us, but we're back in the lobby. Luckily, no rounds were played, so we don't have to worry about any of that. But hopefully we get to see round number 1 now.
That would be pretty exciting, because the worst part about when you have like a qualifier game get delayed is everybody's got to wait until this is ending. So like this is like a max overtime game. We might have another round where for some reason a game takes an hour and 20 minutes and everybody's just sitting back like, when are we going to start?
And then we'll be
anytime now.
We'll be here till 1 a.m. again.
Oh, lovely.
But looks like everyone's stabilized. So we're going to be starting off with AVG. Roles are pretty expected, with the exception of maybe Amp being on smoke. With how hard Amp was going last qualifier, didn't expect him to be playing the hard support op. Usually that's Bio's job, but he's opted to flex onto the Warden instead. So we have 2 shields for the defense, protected by both a Wamai and a Jaeger. No Aruni in play, at least not yet. And we've got a Goyo for added delay. Meanwhile, Didn't Ask side of things, they have a lot of really good utility to deal with this. They have a solo hard breach in the terms of the Ace, who's probably just going to be pushing from that study side, maybe over towards Vault. I mean, otherwise, Didn't Ask, they've got a Twitch to deal with utility. She can even destroy those Goyo canisters. We've got the Flores to bypass the Jaeger OMI and just destroy those shields. And already, BJL finds himself on the receiving end of some bullets. Destroyer gets our leadoff kill for the match.
BJL just kind of seemed awkward on the first floor. I don't know what was happening, but now you have really nobody else off the side. I think everybody else is mainly contained around 90 bookshelf, maybe extended a little bit farther on the second floor, but so far it's mainly just contained within the site itself. And I mean, Didn't Ask if they can start to focus on actually fragging out these stairs, getting rid of those deployable shields, and I think they can really start to speed up their attack, which is already going pretty quick.
BJL was probably playing underneath, of course, because he was the only C4 on the defensive side. And, of course, that's why Destroyer's down here. He's probably leading the way for TrevMac to come in as well, and they can both use their nades to full advantage. Especially in a 5 versus 4, getting a couple more freebies would certainly help the attack. Already the Flores drones coming into effect, and all of them being used to clear the Barbon main stairs and clear the shields as well. Fortunately for the defense, though, there is still a shield in the site that someone's going to have to use some utility on, and hopefully TrevMac or Destroyer has a nade left.
I mean, so far, the utility from Didn't Ask has been pretty effective as just Waltz gets caught out with their pants down. Bio looking to try to get a refrag onto TrevMac, who backs up, uses a frag grenade, which might be able to actually go through. But so far, stays safe. Could be a flawless round for Didn't Ask, but there is Amp finding one of their own. But look at the health. They cannot take a lot of these gunfights head on, and with Space just hanging right around the corner, there's a lot of apprehension on Stay Safe, and for good reason. They don't have the numbers, they don't have the health, and right now, only 1 smoke canister in Amp's pocket. So far, Didn't Ask, this should be their round, but if Bio can claim Twitch, who's just walking out of this 90 area, then maybe there's still a chance for Didn't Ask.
I was going to say, I liked switching the positions, giving Bio this angle since he has more HP, but Amp got caught out from under the drone hole. Like you said, such little HP that was not survivable, and Bio losing his fight through the wall gives Didn't Ask the first round, starting with a brilliant clear downstairs. BJL, with the way he was firing at the wall, it almost looked like he was bugged. I think Destroyer
Yeah, that's
maybe
what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking.
Destroyer maybe just clipped him through the window. Either way, starting with that, TrevMac hitting the crouch walk from Trophy and getting a freebie from there. I mean, the man count was well in Didn't Ask's favor. They use their utility really well to clear out main, make Wi-Fi exposed, force him back into that site before picking him up as a kill. And we'll try AVG once again, only this time there's no Jaeger and there's no Warden. So they'll sacrifice a shield, they'll sacrifice some utility burn for drone denial, a C4, and Bio playing that Melusi to delay this attack even longer in tandem with the Goyo.
I'm surprised. Like, I like the Mossy pick from Waltz because the Roteros and the Twitch drones were a huge nuisance for the defense. But, I mean, maybe why not the mute? I know with Mozzie you've got a little bit more security with your pests because of how small they are. You hide them behind the door, but with mute jammers, it's slightly harder for the attack to actually deal with it because they might have to use frag grenades instead, actually peek to take out the mute jammer. So I know Waltz's goal is to make it so Delta Force can just go hog wild with the Roteros, but Delta has 4. Space has 2 Twitch drones combined with the 9 that Didn't Ask already has, so I feel like you can easily just bypass that Mozzie.
Yeah, I think with the Mozzie's being picked up because he wants to support both the Anchor game and the Roam as well, because for the first time, well, I say first time, but there's only been 2 rounds, S2 Esports are opting for a Roam by trophy. He set up one of those Rotero drones on the main stairs, one just got burned by one of those pests and shot out by Wi-Fi. Now he's just gonna... I mean, he's just going to keep watching this. Delta Force, he's going to use the next one on the Malusi Banshee right next to Study Door, so at least that one's not going to get wasted. But now, he's only got 1 Rotero left. And that Mozzie pest, I think, is still on the main stairs, right next to the Goyo canister. And meanwhile, there was another Mozzie pest, dedicated towards the Roam itself. So, I mean, even though it may not be as effective in drone denial for the Anchor game as a mute, it's still coming into effect with Delta Force now having to choose what he wants to do. Is he going to use this Rotero drone to get the Goyo canister with this Mozzie pest right next to it? And he's not... Never mind! All right, the Wamai takes that choice away from him. Rotero drones all downed, and Delta Force almost dead.
So it wasn't actually any operator tunes. It was literally the fact that Didn't Ask got shot out. BJL, we talked about if he was bugged or not. Clearly not in this round as he gets it kicked off, shuts down Trevmac, but immediately refrag Didn't Ask swing back with 2 kills onto 2 players. So you see all 3 of the Stay Safe members mostly in the site. Amp is going to try to be where Wi-Fi was previously. We don't actually know. Bio is all the way over in Statuary. That is a late roam with only about 60 seconds left. He has a good chance of getting droned out from the Twitch, but they might not even need him all the way over there if you see Waltz and Am really start to work their guns.
He was originally on the Roam with Waltz, but after those 2 deaths, it seems like Waltz has since rotated back to support the Anchor game. There was a Twitch drone there, and it's not going to spot Bio, but he whiffs a couple of shots. Luckily, the impact's in. The Space is such low HP that it'll be able to clean him up. Amp now tucks himself right next to that doorway, heading into Study. Swoof walking in, probably a dead man, but he misses with the SMG-11. Luckily, the shotgun, so good that it simply doesn't matter. Goes for the second, but luckily, Destroyer's there to catch him. Now in a 1 versus 2, but only 20 seconds left and no case control. Bio and Waltz playing passive, except until Waltz just peeks up behind the bar. And now Bio's alone outside of sight. Once again, Destroyer does not have control of case. It was dropped by that ace in Study. Bio, all he need do is run, playing a close angle that Destroyer probably won't expect, especially with info. Bio's just going to swing out, pre-fire a little bit, and the sledge cannot find him. S2 Esports tie the score 1-1.
Yeah, Bio's a little bit smarter to do shenanigans like that. So a much better round, and I think it was the fact that the Roteros were stopped. I mean, in the first round, they were constantly blowing up shields, banshees. I think all 4 of them found a target. In that round, I think 1. And that was the main Banshee on Study Door. So Stay Safe were still able to use the shields. They were able to use basically everything that they brought in the round because everything Didn't Ask used was honestly just immediately nullified by the simple guns, not even the Mozzie pest. So Stay Safe this time, they're actually bringing the mute of Bio. A lot of changes in some of these rounds. The only consistency is that smoke on Amp, Waltz on the Wamai this time. So even though they're keeping a lot of the operators, still just kind of swapping some of them around.
Yeah, the only different one's a lateral switch. Sort of lateral switch from the Mozzie to the mute, and now a zombie coming into play for Wi-Fi to help assist him on the Study Roam that we see so often played. We'll still have Amp, probably BGL and Bio over towards the site side of things. Bio might even rotate downstairs to play with that that C4 too, but I mean, again, oh no, Wi-Fi's not playing Roam. Okay, he was just there for setup, so he's anchoring using these keeper barriers to help hold on to Master instead, supported by the Wamai. So, all right, a much lighter Roam than I had initially thought.
Especially because sometimes a zombie can be a little self-sustaining. if you maybe get a Wamai disc like that was actually thrown inside of the master bedroom, all you need is a little bit of help. Bio, ooh, gets punished for the peek through the drone hole. The head just presented itself for a split second. And now stay safe. They're working without a player on their team, working without a C4s. Didn't ask them. Might give them a little bit more confidence trying to attack this master bedroom side, the walk-in closet. As I think they'll definitely feel a little bit more safe. Hence the name on stay safe.
I noticed earlier too, Bio still had a couple of jammers in pocket. I hope he put those down before he went for the peak. I didn't quite see. And now it seems like the roam clear is going to begin. Wi-Fi is bugged. Nope. All right, cool. He's back. So Wi-Fi has since gone back to the roam, and it seems like he's, I don't know, still lagging or something, with BJL supporting him from below. So it's a 2-2 split. And that could be something that the attackers take advantage of. With 4 men potentially pushing by Master and leaving Delta Force over to catch the rotates, they could probably overwhelm this site presence. They don't even need this breach open, actually. I mean, but they're still going to try. They're able to get the ace charge down low. That'll prevent the impact trick from Waltz, and the Wamai will be forced to push up. So a rotation now denied in the site. Delta Force now pushed in, stunning out. His way will be clear, and he'll start to take this control and apply back pressure.
Delta Force is all alone and he could get punished, but instead it stays safe, whose bodies start to hit the floor. Only BJL all the way over by more window is going to be able to find one, but has to work through 4 more didn't ask players before he has any chance of getting the diffuser, but immediately through the smoke is shot down. So I feel it in my bones, bro. I think this is a game that is really going to go back and forth all the way to the end.
I certainly would not doubt it, but that was a good round from Didn't Ask. I thought they'd maybe speed up their pace a bit once they found out there were the only 2 people on site, but Wi-Fi had since rotated back, allowing Delta Force the space to move in. Not only did Didn't Ask get the necessary kills when pushing the site itself, but Delta Force from behind got a freebie into Trophy, leaving BGL all on his lonesome. And once he got that first kill, the round was pretty much over. A 1v3 against attackers staring at all your doorways, the plant going down, out of sight thanks to that little corner that Swoop was planting in. That's a tough round to bring back. And S2 Esports will continue to try again. This time, bringing a Frost and a Pulse. Bio now donning the Azami, who will probably be on that roam. The Frost mats to try and stop someone moving in quickly through Closet. And now proper downstairs presence from said Pulse. My only worry is that, I mean, the Pulse is the only C4. Usually when you're going to dedicate to a Pulse, you're going to have more than one. You're going to be bringing a Mute or a Goyo, Cade. In this case, of course, he's banned. But you're going to have someone else down there not only to raise your C4 potential by bringing another one, but also to help protect that player.
It feels like they're heavily banking on Didn't Ask going for another master take. I mean, with the Frost, with the Pulse hanging by Kitchen, they're investing all their resources over there. But so far, I mean, Didn't Ask, they're kind of spreading themselves out. You got Trebmak in the basement, one player over by the study, I believe. So right now, Didn't Ask aren't showing their hand. They still have some resources over by this eastern side, and well, especially the Habana and the diffuser that will usually try to get the wall. But so far, they're spreading themselves out and may eventually start to go for master, but they clearly know that somebody is underneath. I mean, Waltz is protected by Wi-Fi, so it's not going to be an easy pickings, but I think Didn't Ask probably have to focus a little bit of their resources on that first floor.
Yeah, you saw Hibana already open up the pantry wall to make him a bit more exposed. The drone coming in now from Delta Force to scope things out. He does spot one right by Tetris, and Waltz pushes up to kill the drone. Nade to follow through, but the Pulse has already moved back. He's got a nice foothold as well, but Trevmak could very easily come into play as he starts to work his way up the stairs. Silent and sneaky could easily catch Waltz off guard, especially now that he's hyper-focused on Delta Force, trading a lot of damage between the 2 players. Delta Force finally goes down, but there's a barricade on the pantry, meaning that Trevmak, his position is now known by this defense. Up comes the Pulse. Space also now joining the Jackal here. They've got tracks on him, and it's an easy pre-fire. Walt's not even able to see the Jackal firing at him. So at the very least, they go 1 for 1. They're taking a very important info op for this attack, but here's Wi-Fi, his position left unknown. Trades out space and able to get away from Trevmac, at least for now.
Dinask are focusing so much on getting rid of Walt. Wi-Fi is just able to sneak in behind. And now, I mean, Dinask, they have one player down. Trevmac is all alone. I think they should see the footprints, know that Wi-Fi has to be dangerously close to the Astro stairs, but Wi-Fi just ignores the drone. And that leads directly to his death, so a little questionable on my end, but I mean, Trevmac now, they're actually able to position themselves on the Astro stairs. You're going to see Destroyer take out Bio, and now really, Amp is pinched in between the bathroom, in between the Astro stairs. They're going to try to smoke their way out, but now they have none in their pocket. BJL from behind is able to clear the way for Amp, and we're all equaled up, but BJL has to run from the frag grenade right into Destroyer's bullets, and it's this smoke all alone in a 1v2. We're going to see Sana try to slap the diffuser down, but the shotgun for Amp might be enough to put the sledge down, but just missing. I think his crosshair was barely off of the sledge.
That's crazy. I thought he had that. Especially because the sledge was stuck in the Banshee. But yeah, I mean, didn't ask the play downstairs, even though it cost them 2 lives, ended up working out because not only, I mean, they kill the Pulse, they trade out Wi-Fi, who unfortunately disconnects, so we're going to have to try and get him back in the lobby. But they trade out Wi-Fi because Wi-Fi decides to just stare at a drone and not react at all. And the play from Bathroom, Destroyer, works out extraordinarily well. Destroyer so far has been a huge linchpin for this team. His efforts pushing into sight have opened things up nearly every single round for Didn't Ask and given them a possibility. So well done to Destroyer. And from there, the round was pretty much over after that nade. It was a 2v2. It was still winnable for the defense. I mean, you know, Amp had a decent shot, but missing the shotgun blast, that was the final nail in the coffin. So really well done to Destroyer, picking up 3 kills, I believe there. 8 and 0. Oh yeah, because that one round, because it was one off time from S2 Esports, Destroyer has not died yet.
That's it. So, I mean, yeah, for sure. I think that you hit that shotgun. That's the round, because with how low Habana was, Sana would have to continue to keep down on the diffuser. So, well, what could have been, hindsight is a powerful thing, but stay safe. Now opting to go for Kitchen, not trying Trophy again. I think that is a good play. And part of it came down to the fact that Didn't Ask weren't as efficient in dealing with the roam. They weren't looking at their flank as often, which did allow them to just drain the resources away from the attack. But no pulse. I think that is something that could become as a surprise, considering that, you know, this is a very vertical site. You want to bring a lot of C4s, but the defense only got 1, doesn't have the pulse, so clearly they have something in mind that they want to do, though.
By the way, 3 games have already finished.
7-0s?
2 of them were. Above the Law 7-0 to Team Mystic White, and Riz Academy 7-0 to Achieve Esports.
Yeah. Wow. That took me by surprise. I'm kind of glad we didn't cover that one then.
Yep. I mean, the match isn't closed. Maybe that's just a mistake from someone inputting the score, but yeah,
that would be an opener.
It was a 7-0 apparently. Ferme just confirmed. That's crazy.
That is going to be a huge mental blow to Achieve Esports, because I think they were definitely a favorite or 2 to make it all the way, but I mean, now losing to Riz, that will hurt your chances. But Bio going to be the first death down to Delta Force. The C4 downs the Zofia. The confirm might not be able to come through, as nobody is directly under that C4, but I'm trying to make sure that it's actually clear before the res goes through. So I think it's only a matter of time before Zofia does get revived.
Yeah, of course, it is an impossible kill to confirm unless you do that. BGL finally moves in. Since the floor was hard, there was no shooting up at the Zofia, but they actually, I would consider that a better trade, because you kill the hard breach, the guy rezzing the Zo, so you keep the damage on Delta Force and knock out the hard breach. Wonderful job from BGL. I'm sure he has no idea who he just killed, but you can probably assume, considering who Swoof has been playing this whole time, that he was on a hard breach operator.
I mean, that's a little toss of luck there for BJL. I think they had the general information of where it could be, so taking out that ace with the amount of time on the clock where didn't ask to actually work this site, it is going to be a difficult ask for them to actually get inside the site, execute without any hard breach on their side. This round has just gone by in the blink of an eye. And with Stay Safe not having a C4 on the board, but they still have a huge amount of map control on that first floor. We'll see if it actually holds due to the sledge, you know, breaking the floorboards above them. But I mean, didn't ask. They are really going to have to flood the site. Probably from Art. I think that is where they're starting to hint. And now as we reach 15 seconds, something's going to have to happen. And with didn't ask, somehow inside of the site, able to start putting down the diffuser. And only 2 members of Stay Safe down. It's a huge blow to the defense, as now it's BJL all alone in a 1v3, having to come back against this attacking squad. And it just might not look achievable, simply because the amount of time, the actual map control that Stay Safe has, and well, Delta Force immediately able to swing, take out PJL. I mean, you are questioning it, and I'm left questioning it too.
That was odd. So didn't ask start with the top floor clear. You know, they get a kill, Destroyer goes in, gets traded out, or well, gets down, and then his teammate gets traded out in his place. And then S2 Esports peel off the top floor and decide to play super passive. I mean, back in bike, living room, memo, red stairs, I think, even. And didn't ask, like, just sneak on in. I don't get it. I don't get what the S2 Esports plan was. Maybe it was down to the sledge. Maybe Destroyer.
That's what
just sledged so goddamn much that S2 couldn't play anywhere in the site, which is very possible. I remember, you know, seeing him walk over the floor, and it was just a sea of metal bars.
Swiss cheese.
So you know, that could very well be a possibility. And if so, brilliant from didn't ask. If not, I mean, if not, still brilliant to be able to recognize that and act off of it. So wonderful play from didn't ask. This is probably one of the best games we've seen from them in the last couple of quals. And they find themselves up 4-1 with a very distinct possibility of going up 5-1 here. We'll play AVG again. More C4 potential. BJL now playing the Mozzie instead of Waltz. Bio still sticking the Malusi. Wi-Fi though off of Wamai onto Jaeger. I was really hoping Swoof was gonna stick the glass, but I mean, it's just not to be. It does look like though didn't ask are going for a similar play, having Space and Trevmax start on the opposite side of the map, while the other 3 try and clear up main and through study.
I mean, I think it's just going to once again come down to how efficient will didn't ask be able to clear the utility. 1/4 of Delta Force's Roteros are gone. Actually, oh no, the third one did get deployed. So, I mean, already having to dedicate so much, will it be enough to get rid of the barbed wire? I think it will, but you still have the Goyo canister. I think the only safe thing for didn't ask is they only have to worry about 1 deployable shield that is probably deployed by Bookshelf, and that is still a nuisance, as Biologic is going to shut down Trebmac. No frag grenades in the pocket of that Yana, as now there is going to have to be somebody to at least worry about that northern side. You're going to see Space actually do a little bit of damage to Waltz, just trying to break the barricade, but honestly, these other members of Didn't Ask are going to have to step it up now that Delta Force is gone.
Luckily, Destroyer and Space are still up, who have been having standout performances so far. But the question is, can they actually get in the building and get kills? Right now, the angles that S2 Esports are holding are fully for entry denial. Speaking of, BJL gets a freebie on the swoop on that rappel. Destroyer finally jumps into Closet to fight Bio, thinking about pulling a nade, but just takes the fight instead. Eats a lot of damage, trades some back to Bio, and eventually the Malusi gets away. Hops down to Carpet and evades Destroyer. So a lot of wasted time for Bio. No one left on this roam for him to hunt down. Everyone has either peeled back into sight or gone downstairs to play for a late flank.
I feel like Bio sometimes might be the Batman villain Two-Face. He might have an amazing roam, or sometimes he just might be the first death, as he's been in a lot of these rounds. But so far, he's able to waste the time. He has to draw resources from Didn't Ask to actually kill him, of which BJL is able to immediately fill that roamer vacuum, and now Didn't Ask have to sacrifice one more player, of which they cannot do anymore. Amp pushes way off of the site. They have the manpower they need, so a 4-2 split, and I think after what Didn't Ask has been doing, I think Stay Safe can kind of go forward knowing that that's a little bit of satisfaction, but they want more than that.
4-2 half, obviously nothing to feel bad about. We'll go back to AVG for Didn't Ask's first defense. Another game concluded. 6 Karma won their first game. 7-1 over Average Joe's. I think another 7-0 just came in. Deprived 7-0ing Butter Thieves. Whatever the hell that is. I'm surprised, though, that Reality TV's game isn't over. Maybe HK Rebel Academy might be putting up a fight.
That would be a surprise of the century. Like,
or maybe they started late. That's also
that is also true.
Also a distinct possibility.
Hey, imagine like you're an undefeated CL team. I think what they dropped one map, right? I mean,
they dropped one map and in the entirety of stage 3 in playoffs, and it was in playoffs.
Yeah.
To Rise in the grand finals.
Definitely a favorite, but I mean, who knows? We can't see what's happening. We're only gonna have to look at what the eventual result will be. So definitely keep you guys updated on everything that is going on. That is another thing I love about Quals, is you're just kind of able to fill people in on what like potential upsets or what upsets are actually happening, and it just makes like exciting little jumble of games.
Especially seeing how freaking quick some of these teams finish. That's how you know those guys just got absolutely smoked. Delta Force, the first to take an engagement, catches BJL trying to open a barricade, deals some damage to the Ash, but luckily for S2, it's no kill. Delta Force playing Legion as well, a bit of an oddity. He's fallen out of the meta significantly, but he still sees play sometimes, especially on a roam where you want to emphasize entry denial and slowing things down. BJL taking additional damage from one of those Q mines. Travmac and Destroyer both downstairs. One probably looking to play for C4, the other roaming around, protecting him, but Trevmac since retreating to the basement to maybe walk up towards main and find his C4 potential there. In the meantime, though, all the roamers have pretty much peeled off. Delta Force escapes into 90 thanks to that, probably thanks to that Legion mine. If that wasn't there, he may have been caught up to, but Wi-Fi lurking downstairs, able to catch Trevmac, deny one of those C4s.
And well, I mean, there's still another roamer to worry about. Destroyer barely catches Waltz as he mantles onto that balcony. Does he live longer than that? Fortunately for him, no. Wi-Fi claims another roamer. Add it to the list. So Didn't Ask now, you just have mainly these anchors kind of around the site, as Delta Force definitely did rotate back in the site. Still playing near the 90 area, but this Rotero will actually spot them out. Wi-Fi's drone as well. We'll give that information. As we're seeing a little smack talk in the chat, as the Goyo canister and the bulletproof are going to impede BJL's progress for just a little bit, but honestly not long enough to really make any form of progress. As you can see, there's still 60 seconds left as Delta Force barely avoids an aid and hangs on, keeps Didn't Ask hopes alive in this round.
That was a bad nade from Wi-Fi. Could have easily found a freebie there, but just didn't cook it right. Cooked it a little bit too long. Didn't explode properly on the ceiling. Bio, in the meantime, hanging out outside the study window. This is a surefire kill for Space if Bio tries to jump in. In the meantime, Delta Force is over by main to prevent Wi-Fi's walk-up, but that does leave Swoop kind of isolated. He's the only guy in sight. Amp does take a lot of damage, and BGL finished off by Space. Wonderful kill from the castle to even the man count. Looking for Bio, gets tagged up in the back, but trying to take 2 fights at the same time. Finally goes down. The C4 goes out. It misses, but here's the Legion. Delta Force, he catches one. Bio forced now into the site. Pistol out, dies as Swoop gets his off screen and Didn't Ask. Go up 5-2.
And just amazingly played. The patience by the Legion shown right there, and with the diffuser dropped, I think that round ended right then and there. So a 3-round lead between Didn't Ask and Stay Safe, which, I mean, you expect this to be just a little bit closer, but Didn't Ask have just taken their momentum and started to run with it. Even if Stay Safe had notched that 6-round win, that did not mean anything to this team. Already getting around decent chance of getting trophy 2, especially if they're able to go on this map and match point. I think that really exerts the pressure onto Stay Safe, and it might be too much, but I know that a lot of these players are seasoned. I mean, Bio was in Pro League at a time, so I think going up against match point, it's something that you can be kind of counted on, but it's also something that you can't really rely on them to crack.
Mystic Academy have finished their game 7-2. Oh, maybe this round, maybe we'll actually have a fast round. That'd be awesome.
You say that. We've still got a ton of games left.
I mean, I know, but why don't they finish quickly? I'm holding out. I'm holding out hope.
All it takes is one.
Listen, and it's not going to be this far on stream. I can tell you that much. With how things are going. Didn't ask. Up 5-2. Going now to the other top floor site trophy. Plenty of downstairs presence. Plenty of roam presence as well. Both Delta Force and Destroyer playing by the study side of things with one. Even holding main stairs with utility, but Wi-Fi. Holy crap. Delta Force gets freaking smoked. And I mean, yeah, you got to give props to that in chat. Delta Force exposed his head for less than a second. And Wi-Fi was on top of it. That is the Kyle difference. And gets another as Destroyer just doesn't react. His teammate dies, and he's like, yep, all good. So 2 kills for Wi-Fi to open the round. That is great for S2. Make it 3! TrevMax the next to fall. All the C4 is dead. Space has already used his. And now he's dead, so even if it was pre-placed, he couldn't. And now Swoof is a 1 versus 5, and Wi-Fi, he wants his 4th. Unfortunately, he won't be able to get it. There's a drone at the Frost's feet, calls out to BJL. He's walking into sight, and it's a buddy ace. 3 for Wi-Fi, 2 for the Jackal, and another round for S2.
Well, I mean, can you consistently rely on that going forward? I know that, well, Wi-Fi, hell of a gunner, but hopefully Didn't Ask will actually learn from their mistakes not to peek the Ash all the way over on balcony. But that is a round Stay Safe needed, because, I mean, a 3-round difference, I think that's probably the signifier that a game is starting to turn into a one-sided affair. But with Stay Safe able to notch that one on the belt, potentially another one on the board if they have some satisfaction in this round as well. We'll see if this game actually turns into a close one. I know you said that this wouldn't be one of those games. You might have jinxed it. Like, there's a slight chance you might have jinxed us.
I don't think I've jinxed us.
All right, doubling down.
I'm doubling down. Didn't Ask, now bringing out the Cap Can and the Mira. Interesting combination. Frost as well. So two trap operators. The Mira to both hold sight and hold the roam, and then Melusi and Mute. So S2 Esports have their work cut out for them. They don't have a lot of utility to deny said mirrors except for the ace. If that's what you want to use it for, you can set it right below the mirror window and deny it. You could set it, I think if you put it like right on top of the mirror window, it'll destroy on top of it and then under it. And then, you know, that takes it away. I forgot what the exact interaction is with that. But I do like that they're still bringing out the Jackal and the Dokkaebi combo, even though it didn't really do much for them, or the Dokkaebi didn't really do much for them last time. It's still going to be an important part of the roam clear if Didn't Ask continue to just run all across the map. And there's another TrevMac in the basement once again gets sniffed out by BJL, and that's the first kill for S2, and they deny yet another C4.
And TrevMac has just been consistently showing up in the kill feed in these early rounds. A lot of times he's being a little even. Sometimes he might end up on top. Sometimes he might end up that first death. But in this case, it does hurt to lose him and one of your other C4. So Didn't Ask. It seems like they haven't even been able to take these engagements. They just been shut down by Staying Safe. But, ooh, is Sauna able to peek and take out Amp? That is the fuser dropped. But unfortunately for Didn't Ask, the Selma charge did get rid of that mirror black window. So now nobody just keeping an eye on this Frost, able to walk forward, take out another player. And this game just might have changed on a couple whims like that.
Oh, did you call him Sauna?
Is it? Is that what it is?
No, it's Swoof.
Swoof.
His name used to be Swoof Sauna.
Oh, okay. I'm emphasizing the wrong part.
So like now he's Swoof off of Doobie. He used to be there was Swoof Lawn Chair was a part of it too. He's always had a suffix after his name. But Bio tries to put things back in his team's favor with 2 kills. Unfortunately, he gets caught by a frost mat. That puts BJL in a 1 versus 1. Him versus Destroyer, both of them having very good maps. And Destroyer knows the advantage he has. It's not like Bio's going to be able to move around and scout things out for this Jackal, considering the frost mat. But Destroyer comes in, picks up the kill anyway, prioritizes the down Sophia, and that gives BJL the opening he needs to win the round. Now 5-4.
Living distraction right there. I mean, I think the expectation wasn't that Jackal was going to peak at the exact same time. I think he probably should realize that there's a slim chance that that happens, but just taken by surprise. Stay safe. Starting to charge their way back. Going over to Aviator Games, didn't ask. They're still going to bring that Legion Mute. It's kind of a core set that they have. Interesting enough, though, Crow, they don't have the smoke. I feel like on Aviator, that is an operator that if you reach a certain time frame, he can really make or break a round. Stay safe, struggle to deal with the roam. Any utility clear, then well, a smoke just kind of confirms that the defense might win that round.
Yeah, smoke, incredibly useful operator. He can be a make or break, but he is not nearly the make or break that he used to be. You can afford to drop a smoke if the rest of your defense is solid. He is no longer like I remember him and Jaeger used to be the 2 operators that you would see in literally every single defending comp. Like you couldn't win a defense without him. Now, very glad that the story is different. Both are still incredibly important pieces of utility, but you don't 100% need them. There are plenty of workarounds. For example, Goyo, you could very easily slot in for a smoke. Wamire or Aruni could take the place of a Jaeger. And Didn't Ask are playing a very aggressive game, which is probably why they don't even want to use the smoke. They're planning on stopping S2 Esports before they even get into that site or have a chance to get a solid execute off, thereby not really needing the smoke anymore. Okay.
Ooh.
All right. I was waiting for that. I was waiting for that to happen. And after I saw it, like, I saw Waltz not insta-die, and I was really confused for a sec. But Delta Force does get the better of him. He eats a DMR shot to the chest anyway, but still gets away with the kill.
I just dropped like a clay pigeon right there. I think there was one phone call used by Waltz, so getting about some utility, but S2 really aren't going to actually be able to get any usage off of those Dekebi phone calls. The Kiba barrier is just going to waste more time from Stay Safe, as now they're being a little bit more apprehensive about actually pushing towards this trophy statuary side. There isn't anybody there. We know that. They probably don't. As Didn't Ask seem to have the satisfaction knowing that they've taken out Walls, drained some utility from the side of Didn't Ask. Well, I mean, Delta Force going for a little cheeky play, but Wi-Fi clearly ready for him there.
And that means the man count's now even. 4-4. Minute and a half left. Like you said, with the loss of a Dokkaebi, not a really important utility pick. Delta Force, though, you do lose some time delay. BJL nearly goes down thanks to the drone hole shooting at his feet. He eats a lot of damage and just, I guess, doesn't care. Maybe he didn't know. Maybe he thought he was getting shot from some other angle, but TrevMac confirms the kill through said drone hole and puts the man count back in his team's favor, knocking off the only top, or the top frag for S2 and the lobby. And S2's only positive player. Wi-Fi's close, though. 8-8. Could find another round of space here, but oh, the castle sees the shadow, but can't get the kill. Wi-Fi moves at the perfect time and equalizes the man count once again. Nades come into vault. TrevMac, the next to die, thanks to Amp. That leaves Destroyer and Swoof in a 2 versus 3. Destroyer clutching this corner, able to deal a lot of damage, but not finish off Wi-Fi. The Iana drop shots his way to victory. 1 versus 3 for Swoof. Plant going down from Amp, and the Mute's going for the long flank. He's rotating, but they know Bio's covering it. He still loses the fight. This is still doable for Swoof. Both these last attackers are very lit up. Amp is the next in the attacker's line of defense for this case. Wi-Fi creeping around towards the open wall. Swoof doesn't see him, eats some damage. Still alive. Wi-Fi takes a re-engagement and ends up dying. Amp has since moved up. Or take some shots, reveal his location. Swoof now starts to move in, but the flash full blinds him. Amp repositions, catches Swoof, and S2 Esports tie the game.
By the claws of their fingernails, like as close as you can get. Still S2 hanging on for dear life, 5-5. And well, I mean, you can't count Didn't Ask out in these certain scenarios because, I mean, Swift he's a gamer at the end of the day. He can win those in a lot of scenarios, but the flashbang just forcing him to just refocus his attention, trying to run away from it. In the end, you see safe, stay safe, walk away with the round win, and going back over to Aviator Games, still bringing a similar lineup. You have Treadmack over on the Ella, but I mean, stay safe. Do you think that changes are needed? Because a lot of times it felt like their roam clear over by Astro still left a little bit to be desired.
Yeah, it's weird. S2 are a weird team. So this happened as well against I think it was Lycus in the best of one they played. S2 were down like 6-3 or something, and then came back and brought it to overtime. Like they were in a hole, and they still brought it back. So I mean, S2 are not a team. Even though I kind of discounted them, I thought we were just gonna have a dominant game because S2 were not playing well. You still can't count them out. They have that fire, and I mean, as we can see, it's on display right now. It's 5-5 from 5-2. You know, Didn't Ask got a 3-round lead, and they've thrown it away. Unable to win a defense. Lisa will go back to AVG. Downstairs presence now as the Impact creates some rotates for Destroyer. But, I mean, I'm sure Didn't Ask. They'll probably be hunting him down.
Wouldn't surprise me. You hear the Kebby phone call, it's vibrating in his pocket. Doesn't want to pick it up. But is anybody around to actually find him? Wi-Fi sees him out of the corner of his eye, but can't win the gunfight. So now Didn't Ask getting the spur that they need to potentially snowball its way to victory. Now, that's another player that cannot focus on the roam clears. Not only do you have Destroyer, you've got Space over in Kitchen. Delta Force is going to be that main player designed to just keep this attack away from the actual site as long as possible. But so far, Stay Safe getting rid of the shield, actually getting rid of the reinforced wall. If Stay Safe don't, you know, kind of force this site play, then maybe you'll see a lot of the Didn't Ask or start to make their way back to site. But I mean, you got to look at Waltz here.
Finally, BJL does trade him back, and he's going to use his last nade. But no, again, the nade not cooked properly. Bounces right off the ceiling. Only does damage to Delta Force, but they do know about the hatch, and he still can't win the fight. The pre-fire doesn't land. Delta Force, he's left on low HP, but he's got a kill. BJL dead. Him and Wi-Fi, the standout performers for S2 Esports so far. Now you're left with Flores and Ace and a Dokkaebi. 3 usually supporting ops. Left in 3 versus 4. Amp the next to fall thanks to Delta Force holding down the site. Case has been forfeited as well. And all these roamers, not the roamers, but the off-site players, have fallen back. They're defaulted. They're back in the site holding with their teammates. The Case needs to be recovered by Bio. He'll separate from his teammate, go towards the study balk. But now these players, their tradability has gone down.
And Didn't Ask, they're focusing more on time instead of just trying to take these gunfights. You saw with Swift and Trevmac actually backing off once that Ella mine was detonated. And with 20 seconds left, Legion mines, 2 of them going in Waltz's feet. You can see that there really isn't much S2 can do because doors are probably lined with Legion mine. You see Bio has to force their way into site, and with Space over in landing, with a player over in bar, there is just no way Didn't Ask can honestly blow this one because there is just no way S2 can get inside the site, put that diffuser down, and just like that, it is a defensive victory.
Delta Force with a big 3 kills holding down the site, fighting those players inside study and through the breach, and he puts Didn't Ask on a much needed match point. And now for the first time, we're seeing Didn't Ask defend Dining. It's been AVG and Trophy back and forth. Well, I think it was what? AVG, Trophy, AVG. And then AVG again? I don't know.
Yeah, AVG, Trophy, AVG.
Yeah.
Kitchen.
That's what I thought. Now, for the first time, we're seeing Dining Kitchen. See how they defend downstairs. Of course, have to extend upstairs. Delta Force now playing the alibi. Swoof on Bandit. Probably putting a battery, I imagine, on the laundry walls, maybe upstairs on the triple wall. Could protect the pantry wall too. A lot of different choices for Swift to make. Meantime, S2 though, playing the Osa. And Amp, it's going to be Amp's job to, once S2 take upstairs, to get into that laundry doorway, put that shield down, and try and get a plant.
I mean, I would say like there's like a lot on the line, but we're 1 round in out of 8. So I think this could be a big victory for one of these teams, but I don't think it's going to be, you know, earth defining. A lot of these early rounds, I think like the first 3 rounds, you're kind of settling the top dogs of the pack, who's kind of that, you know, top half and the bottom half, have a chance of making it versus don't. But I think either of these teams, seeing the performance that we have so far, honestly, either of these teams could be in that top half, but, you know, both of them definitely do want to get an edge going on. Didn't ask on match point. All they need is 1 more round win to secure themselves a W, not even risk overtime right now, but it's going to be a little bit harder. You don't have your alibi. And now BJL has a good chance at maybe doing something, but just like that, Space is immediately there to get the refrag, as you can see.
Wow!
Stay safe. They try to get that wall open, and it's actually going to be the death of them, literally.
So not only did Swoof playing the Bandit burn every single one of Waltz's Selmas, which, by the way, one of them was eaten by an ADS, you then saw TrevMax swing the closet right onto the window and dome the hell out of that ace. So, man advantage for Didn't Ask, and the top floor has now been cleared. At the very least, Sledge can start getting his vertical destruction down. Swoof whiffs a C4, but luckily he can pick it back up, and he's just waiting for some sort of sound cue. Maybe to try and hear that Sledge walking above him. Amp, very tentative about walking through, finally make his way in, armed with that Osa shield, try and protect his way through, get that plant down. Here we see him set up the shield, but eating a lot of damage because he does it right in front of Swoof, like he doesn't even care. Swoof not getting killed from above either. I mean, sure, he's used that C4, but still, there's not a lot Amp's going to be able to do here, at least in terms of planting, until his team moves down with him. He does get the pick off the shield. Bio ends up killing Destroyer, so it's man advantage now in a 1 versus 3 for S2. Space, he's 9 and 7. These 2 other attackers are still upstairs. He has to make sure he doesn't give Amp this opportunity that the Osa's looking for, but there's the upstairs coverage coming through. Bio sends us to overtime.
And that was on a knife's edge, Crow. I mean, Osa putting that shield down, if she had died, we might have seen a different story, because, I mean, that is just a sentient player who you can't really look at, but you can't do anything but look at, and eventually she just makes a dent in the round, and you just see S2 crawl their way back from 5 to 2, send us into overtime, and I think you did jinx us, Crow. Like, you doubled down on it.
Yeah. Let me see, is this the only match? That's... Oh. Well, every other game is finished.
This is the only
game going on right now.
Wow.
Sorry, guys. That's my bad. But well, minimum 2 rounds to go. So let's get this show on the road. AVG once again for Didn't Ask, and that probably really sucks. Starting defense after an 8-4 attacking split probably doesn't feel good. At least they have wins on AVG. They'll end up playing that Legion once again, one that was successful, along with the Castle. They have gone back to the smoke for Swoop. So should S2 Esports actually get into the site, like we've seen them be able to do a couple of these rounds on AVG, Swoop is going to be there to try and stop them along with Pagdoyo and the Lucy combo. Lots of delay power for the defense.
I'm just looking at the entry kill margin, and a lot of times whoever's able to just get their foot in the door first has a decent chance of actually winning the round. So, you know, keep your eye on whoever dies first. If there is a refrag in the vicinity. Space, though, I mean, it's the Roman Castle, a little bit farther than some of his teammates, and if BJL just has the right angle, Space could get caught out, but so far, he is secure, backing off, and I think stay safe. there's a small chance that they're able to really find one roamer, potentially two, because you've got Space and Delta Force directly playing off of each other, and there's a player hiding inside of Astro. But as Trebmac has not actually been spotted out, he could really work his wonders, but without Illusion to help him out, it's going to be just a little harder.
It was a Dokkaebi call, though, but they don't know his exact position. He gets two! Both BJL and Bathroom waltz on the rappel, and they're paid back for Delta Force's death. Doubly so. 2 for 1. Now it's a 4 versus 3 for Didn't Ask. Trevmac can rotate back up red and now play for the C4 underneath. That's something Wi-Fi is going to have to worry about because now he can't just nade in from below for free anymore.
I mean, S2, they've been on a little bit of a streak when it comes to actually winning these rounds, but now losing one player like that is really going to hurt you in the end. Trebmac, I mean, you can hear the phone vibrating in their pocket. Maybe that was just obscuring Bio actually pushing through Art, but either way, it is still safe, finding one more man to take down, equalizing the man count, and now they can actually start to work their way through this defensive utility. I mean, you have the smoke left. Swift has 2 canisters. There's Goyo that actually have to be destroyed, so it's so close for S2 to actually falling in their favor, but I just feel like the fact that there's still Goyo canisters left, you still have space inside the site. I like Didn't Ask chances.
That was an incredibly important kill for Space to get, and another to boot. Wi-Fi hits the floor, and Bio's in a 1 versus 2. He knows Space is involved, but he's got to worry about Destroyer coming in from study, peeking over towards the wall. One's dead, and he whiffs! Destroyer leaves Bio alive, the finisher on the Space. Now he doesn't have info. In comes the Dokkaebi, and Biologic wins it! Didn't Ask! You just got to win those! Trevmac, you didn't need to get aggressive there with the Dokkaebi call going out. Just sit piano, delay as long as possible. If you don't die as soon as you do, Swoof is alive later. Destroyer doesn't have to rotate downstairs. But even then, if Destroyer is covering the frickin' cross for his teammate, then I mean, it's over.
What a
terrible misplay.
I mean, that's what we call in the business a cheek clincher.
That was... Wow, I haven't seen someone troll their team that hard in a while. That was just a straight... That was... I'm not gonna lie. Like, yeah, there were mistakes in the round, but goddamn was that Destroyer's fault. All you need to do, cover the cross for your teammates. Space doesn't even have to reposition. So, first of all, Space didn't need to reposition because they know where Bio's coming from. They know he's Skulldoor. He doesn't need to reposition. Just hold the hard cross with your teammate. Hell, take the shorty out at that range. Take the shorty out, sit behind Vault Door, have Destroyer ready to swing. Destroyer not only doesn't swing in time, but also whiffs. You're whiffing on a Bio, bro. Just peek him.
This is the first time that S2 has won. Or, excuse me, has been leading in the match. I mean, they were tied at round 2, but ever since then, Didn't Ask has just stayed ahead. And, well, I mean, Amp... I don't even know if they were actually peeking it. I just think that was Didn't Ask all the way in spawn, maybe looking to get a little lucky, and clearly they hit the jackpot. That is smoke right off the board within the first 15 seconds.
Amp is probably kicking himself for that one. Delta Force getting pushed as well. Yeah, like you said, it was probably just from the ruin spawn, firing through the wall. Luckily, just catches the smoke. Destroyer, though, is traded out. That's a huge kill for the defense. Taking out a set of nades, taking out the top fragger. Luckily, you know, Trevmac, Space, Delta Force, even Swoof. They're all right there with him, but you're really going to miss those nades.
Now, just the Ray Frag game has kept some of these teams in it, despite losing someone so pivotal, so early on. I mean, I think they just did the exact same thing. That Didn't Ask. Destroyer, it's the top fragger. Losing your frag grenades, losing your ability to have staunch destruction. You're not on a site like Kitchen, but it's always gonna hurt. Losing somebody with the power to really take out a lot of these utilities. Delta Force doubling down on Didn't Ask chances for winning this round, but there goes Bio. So both of the Mute and Smoke, a lot of denial is just sapped from the defense.
Delta Force moves in from below. Maybe getting ready to walk up main or red. You're repositioning. We've still got Swoof outside study. He'll start to throw the Selmas in, but they have not cleared top main, so BGL shoots it out for free. Also don't have anyone in the study window to stop that from happening. Weird impact. Don't really know what that was for, but he does get the freebie onto Delta Force. 3 versus 3 now. No trade from space, at least not yet. Swoof, the ace, maybe repositioning towards the window. Multiple players coming up main, but one goes down, the next to fall. Swoof only gets one in return, and now he's the only thing standing between his team and defeat, and he just jumps through the window. What is that attack? Why are you sending 2 people straight up main? I don't get it. All you needed was to have a guy on the goddamn window. 1, it stops BJL from swinging the hard breach, so the Selma charge is able to go off and you get the cross into sight. 2, I mean, just wait for the ace to reposition. He was on his way to the window, and you just double walk up main and die. What a catastrophic series of misplays in those last 2 rounds for Didn't Ask. I mean, I really thought they had it. I freaking thought I was 5v2. I just heard someone say GG's. Don't even say that. You blow. I am so angry right now. I thought Didn't Ask had that. I thought Delta Force was gonna make me proud after going 4-4 last qual, and they just trolled. They trolled. That was one big troll. So, congrats, S2. You're one step closer to making it back to closed.
A catastrophic bag fumble, some could say. I mean, we're looking at the replays, seeing Didn't Ask a lot of these early rounds. They just seemed in control, able to grab rounds from the clutches of defeat, and then little by little, stay safe, just come crawling their way back. Here's the round where it just kind of all started to change, and Didn't Ask unable to win any defensive rounds until I believe it was round 11 that they actually got, and then even can't get anything in overtime. So, I mean, you said it all. I don't need to say anything besides, you know, what you were able to say. But Didn't Ask, I think, definitely a little bit to work on before they go into the next round.
Yep. And, well, S2 Esports, congrats on the win. They were the last game we were waiting for. So, hopefully this break is really short. And I think it's safe to say T3 is back, baby. And I might be angry, but I'm here for it. So don't go anywhere. We don't even need to wait for anyone else. We'll have the matches generated in just a second, and we'll be back after a short break. On a double